In this video, we're going to talk about how to study for a math test. Here's the best advice that I can give you. So let's take a closer look at what practicing looks like. Sometimes when I ask students what they did to study for a test, they tell me, well, I looked through my notes. But does this look like practicing? The answer is no. This is just looking. You might as well be looking at your computer playing Netflix. This is not going to help you study for a test. So what does practicing actually look like? You have a couple of options. One really excellent option is to look over your quiz that I passed back in class last week. When you're looking at this quiz, my recommendation would be to write the problem down on another sheet of paper or on a dry erase board or your desk or whatever, and then see if you can solve that problem today. We know whether you could solve that problem on September 14th already, but you may have forgotten it since then, or you may have learned something since then. You may have gotten better at it since then. So I would copy each of the problems down on another sheet of paper and then put your quiz out of sight for a little while so you're not looking at your old work and you're not looking at the correct answers while you practice. And then see if you can still answer those questions. Another really excellent thing to do with an old quiz is find the problems that you may have gotten wrong the first time and really identify where you went wrong. What type of mistake did you make? Figure out if you're the type of person who tends to make negative sign mistakes a lot, or if you're the type of person who loses the equal sign and forgets what side of the equal sign things are on in an equation, and then find a way to avoid making those same mistakes when you take the test. Another really good option for studying for a test to get some real good practice in is to go back to Math Excel and work on some old homework assignments. The beauty of this is that you're going to cover every single thing that we have learned if you look a little bit at every single homework assignment. And also that when you're redoing homework assignments in Math Excel, you find out whether you're right or wrong. It gets checked for you. So it's not your job to check your own answers with an answer key after you practice. So let's take a closer look at how to access your old homework assignments in Math Excel in order to study for a test. When you first log into Math Excel, you probably only see the most recent assignments on this main screen. So in order to access the older ones, you're going to need to click over here on the left-hand side at Homework and Tests. That's where it will show you your older assignments. Now on my screen, I have a little bit extra stuff down here because I'm the teacher, but you should have a menu that looks a lot like this, and you should be able to choose Homework and Tests. And then you get a list of all of the assignments that we've done for homework so far, and you can see that there are 8 of them. So you don't have to go back and redo all 8 of these 100%, but if you go in and look at all 8 of them a little bit and do maybe a couple of problems from each of them until you're feeling comfortable and you feel like it's refreshed in your mind, that's a great way to practice. Now here's one thing I just want to caution you about. If you log in and redo problems that you have already gotten right, there's a chance that it will reduce your score to 50% for working on those problems late. So I want you to understand how to avoid that. If I log in, for example, here's the assignment that was due on Thursday, September 9th. When I first click on this assignment, I get 2 options, review and practice or improve score. Now, If you don't have 100% on this assignment, like you can see I only have 5% on this assignment right now, then you're welcome to click on Improve Score, and you'll get this warning that there's going to be a late penalty to apply to all of the problems that you work, and if you're okay with that, then you can click Continue. Now, if you're working with this late penalty, you want to make sure that you only do the problems that you didn't get right already, and don't redo a problem that already has a check mark. Now here's the other option. Now say I already had 100% on this assignment, and I want to make sure that I can go back and redo the problems that I already got right, and it's not going to mess with my great score. In that case, you want to click on just Review and Practice. If you click on Review and Practice, then you're going to get this yellow bar up here that says you are reviewing your homework. Any work you do here will not change your score. So even if I go back and do a problem that I already did, it's not going to reduce my score. However, if I go and do a problem I haven't already done, it's also not going to improve my score. It is not going to change your score at all. So it's important when you're making that decision between which of these buttons to choose that you know where you stand with this assignment already. Pay attention to this current score. And if this current score is not 100%, if you have problems that you didn't get done the first time, or maybe that you tried and you got wrong, you just couldn't get right, well, in that case, you should try to improve your score. Try to go in and get a green check mark next to every problem. However, the best way to study for a quiz is to go back and redo even the problems that you've already done before. And so if you plan to redo problems that you've already done and you've already gotten correct, make sure that you are using the Review and Practice option. And that's it. That's my 2 suggestions for studying for a math test. Suggestion number 1, look at your last quiz. Pull it out of the folder where you've been saving it for a week or so now. Look it over and redo these problems. Remember, just looking is not going to help you. You need to get a pencil in your hand and rework each of the problems on this quiz. Make sure that you still know how to do it, or maybe that you know how to do it better now than you did back on September 14th. And option number 2 is looking back at your old homework. It's the same concept on kind of a larger scale because there are 8 homework assignments here. But you want to make sure that you still know how to do them, or maybe that you know how to do them better now than you did back on the days that they were due. Good luck studying for your test.